This project is a project that we started some time ago together with two other companies. One partner was an importer, Imperator in Trieste. Another company was an informatic company, Pixel, both in Trieste. It's basically a model, an idea, because we wanted to try to conceive something interesting for traceability for coffee. Then you might add a lot of things, as we have heard from Dr. Lachenmeier. And so this is just a starting point to think about it. And for sure, traceability is a very actual issue and challenge for the coffee sector, and not only for the coffee sector. My company is, anyway, in this case, I'm talking as the chair of Demus SPA, which is a decaf company in Trieste, but we have a quite unaccredited lab and genetics in place also. The mandatory traceability system starts from regulation 178 of 2002, so it's quite dated. So nothing new, but it's more actual because of the rest of the implementations for regulations and directives, and provides for procedures aimed primarily at identifying the suppliers and customers of companies operating in the various stages of the supply chain, based on one step backward and one step forward. So yeah, it's quite clear. You want to go up in the value chain from bean to cup. What are the advantages in keeping a high degree of traceability? You will increase your power in the value chain. You will look into better efficiency, control, and when you talk about efficiency, you will have economic benefit. Main point is quality. So you, more than a highest quality guarantee, it's that you guarantee the quality that you declare. And you are able also to protect the farmer, because you can look backwards if you have a proper traceability system in place. And it can be clearly also a tool of marketing, increasing brand awareness, sustainability, as we were looking, for example, typically in the deforestation regulation. And you will also sustain the reputation of your company. What does traceability in the coffee business mean? Traceability means to verify the history and the area of origin of green coffee beans, and to be able to identify them throughout the logistic supply chain up to the last customer. So that's why we conceived the High Value Project, which was also publicly financed partly by our region and by European Union. Again, the purpose was to develop an innovative method for traceability in the coffee supply chain, so to grant quality, increase value on the market, but then again also comply to all the various regulations that are implemented now. So it's also, when you look at due diligence, I was mentioning before, you will need the traceability for coffee to guarantee also that. And now there is a new regulation I didn't speak before against that is ongoing in this moment against, for example, forced labor. And then also that will need to be granted, that it's free from forced labor. And you need traceability for that. The target, so find genetic information of coffee beans, or target. It's more than a target. I would say it's a media. And to integrate this with also chemical and sensory analysis. So putting together more than one instrument, and we can add up. These are just the initial ideas. The benefits from the project were building a data bank and going towards legal protection in the sense we have already mentioned. What the purpose was also to build a certificate of guarantee, again, looking at fingerprinting. Through an innovative service of traceability, as I said already, integration, and connecting the genetics to the chemical characteristics and the sensory ones. The purpose of having an informatic company was also to render easily accessible data through simple QR code, and then from the QR code building to the transmitting the QR code through a blockchain system, possibly. This was not yet implemented. The library is always accessible, again, quite easily, and I don't have much to add on this side. What are the possible things that we might tackle? Well, fraud protection. So this is quite clear. Dr. Lachenmeier presented this quite extensively, and this instrument is just again, it's a model that it can be for sure implemented more. The conformity to the quality standard declared. It's an informed choice from the side of quality assurance. It's quite transparent, and again, helps you in demonstrating compliance to the various rules. This is the concept idea. Again, you can see in the plantation, you can implement with the documents of origin, creating already the QR code, then you go for the analysis. Again, the 3 lines of analysis: chemical, physical, genetics, plus organoleptic. Again, organoleptic, it's not subjective, as you already probably know. If you elaborate a panel statistically, you will get out of it an objective data, not a subjective data. And then you arrive finally to the roaster and then to the consumer with also the contracts that could be confirmed through the through the QR code. This everything integrated in a blockchain system to transmit the data. This is just we have quite a rich library for the Coffea arabica that comes from DNA Analytica. Again, this is the example of what I just said. This is for the genetic analysis, we use fingerprinting that you probably already all know through a microsatellites technique. I'm not the right one to talk with about this because I'm formed in economics, but I have my people in the laboratory that are following this. And you can clearly see that through this diagram you can identify benchmarking with the library, which is the variety you are looking at. This can be implemented in every type of coffee, but it really depends also from coffee to coffee how dynamic the coffee genetics might be. In Arabica, they are relatively stable because it is self-pollinating. For example, in Robusta, in Canephora, you have a much more dynamic and changing genetic situation because of the crossbreeding you find in the Coffea Canephora. idea of the approval process is, again, throughout the coffee chain, from the farmer to the trader, through the analysis, or again, in reality, already, if you have the sample, you analyze the sample and you can track the sample throughout the chain. And this would guarantee transparency throughout the process. And I stop here because it's quite a simple concept, but I believe it's interesting and it's very actual, because it's more and more you see implementation of regulations that need strongly traceability to be granted from the producer from the very beginning, so from the farmer to the cup. And this instrument can be used and implemented with also other analyses to be perfectionated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Max, for this very interesting and compact presentation. I really enjoyed it, and thanks again for the great timekeeping. That's really 2 thumbs up. Questions from the audience? If there's no question from the audience, just maybe a general question concerning the DNA analysis in the green bins. Is there a way of finding enough DNA also in the roast beans to have a detectable pattern?
Sorry. No, in reality not. I mean, it's not the same. If you analyze the green bean, you will find much more elements. If you go to the roasted bean, the degradation of the DNA is quite heavy. So in reality, you won't be able to have to understand which varieties you are talking about, and it will be you are able to understand Arabica versus Canephora, for example, but not with really precise figures. So the error is not marginal.
Well, so in other words, you can say...
when you work on roasted coffee, okay, on DNA, it's not easy to do it.
Okay, in other words, you can say it's coffee and not a piece of wood.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. You can also say it's Arabica and Canephora, and you can say it's more or less 50-50, for example, but the error might be even high.
Okay. Thanks, excellent. And
thank you.
Thank you very much, Max.